What's up, guys? So this is my Rawrr Mantis X. I'm in the middle of heavily modifying this thing right now, and I've gotten quite a few questions about how I'm going about doing it. I come from the razor community where a lot of the builds are pretty much completely DIY. I can just show you this one. This right here began its life as this. So if you can see from this white one behind, to this Indian in the front here, there's a lot of changes that went on. It was a complete overhaul. So I kind of know my way around building these things, and that's how I'm going to apply to most of what I'm doing here. So just a quick overview of what I plan on doing is upgrading the pretty much everything on the handlebars, the brake system, disc rotor, rear wheel, battery, controller. I'm gonna leave the stock motor. The stock motor is a QS120 50H encoder version. It should be able to handle about 10 kilowatts, probably about 10 to 13 kilowatts. I've dealt with a couple of these QS120 motors before. The QS120 60H, it was able to take about 150 to 170 amps. So I expect this to be able to take about 120, 130 amps. But knowing me, I'm going to push this up to around 16, 17 kilowatts. If the motor blows, it blows. I'll just upgrade it to another one. Okay, so let's just start at the rear here. So what I did back here was I upgraded the rear wheel from a 17-inch to a 16-inch. And the reason why I did that is because it opens up a lot of tire options. The 17-inch, I was looking for tires. For the 17-inch, and I wasn't able to find much. Most everything comes in a 16, 19 wheel set, so I upgraded the rear wheel to, I guess you could say downgraded the rear wheel to a 16-inch. So I did that. I didn't use the stock axle spacers. I have a variety pack that I ended up playing with to be able to get the spacing right. I also upgraded the rear brake, the rear caliper. This is a pit bike caliper. I have a new line running all the way to the front there, and this is a custom bracket. I designed a lot of my own parts. I have it manufactured elsewhere. I sourced it out to Send Cut Send. I try to design everything so that it can be manufactured and assembled in a 2D format. It tends to be a lot cheaper that way. So here, upgrade this brake. As we all know, the original brake system was beautiful. They faded a lot, and the disc rotors were thinner, and I think they were smaller. This one here is, I think, a 210 maybe, or maybe 200. I forget. Anyways, it's thicker than the stock one. Obviously, the pads on this pit bike caliper is a lot bigger, so this thing stops quite a bit better now. I upgraded the pegs. Let's see. I upgraded the pegs. What else did I upgrade? I upgraded the. Here's the master for the rear. I haven't done the front yet. I'll do the front later. I'm still waiting on a couple of parts to come in. I think I'm going to try to adapt a Suron front caliper in the front. Yes. So the Suron calipers and the pit bike calipers are the same. They have a different cast, but as far as pad size and how they work, it's exactly the same, except that Suron has their name on it. Let's see. As you can see, there's no battery. There's no controller. The controller I'm planning to upgrade it with is this guy here. It's the CL350. I 3D printed an adapter plate. That's the adapter plate there. And the adapter plate allows me to able to mount it right down to there. And the shroud still goes over it as well too. I already tested that out. Here in this compartment, I'm going to put a step down. This is a 12 volt 15 amp. This will go right here. I already mocked it up so that that shroud still fits over here without interfering with this guy, or this doesn't interfere with that. Let me show you what I did here. So here's the shroud, and I'm using this as my cutoff for the step down. So the way I'm wiring it is I have the battery going through this switch, and then this switch to the step down, and the step down to the lights. So this cuts power not in between the step down and the lighting, but in between the battery and the step down. And the reason why I do that is because it prevents drainage. There's leakage that happens if you run the battery directly to the step down, and then from the step down through a switch to the lights. I did that before, and my voltage began leaking over a matter of like 3 or 4 days. I'd have it charged to around, I think at the time it was an 80-volt battery. I had it charged to around 92 something volts, and I came back a week later. It was at, I think it was like it had lost about 5 or 6 volts. So that's leakage. These step downs here, those step downs right there, you can tell because if you're using one of these, check on it every now and then to see if it's warm. If it's warm, that means that there's power going through it. There's power being siphoned from your battery. You'll lose voltage that way. So that's why I have it installed here. Yeah, so this switch is, I think it was originally meant for an AC, but it's able to work. Yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, this thing works with 220 volts and like 20 amps or something like that. Anyway, so that'll work. What else do I need to go to? Okay, so I put up a three-speed switch. This is this is the same style throttle, but a new throttle. Different grips here. My voltmeter will go here. This voltmeter is good to, I think, 120 volts, or maybe 150. So when I plan on upgrading, or when I do plan on upgrading the battery to a higher voltage, higher than 88, then this will also still work for it. I also upgraded the headlight. We all know the original headlight was pitiful. I'm gonna have a number plate here to cover all the wires. What else am I doing here? Yeah, I think that covers it. I got the wheel, battery. Let me show you the battery. This is the battery. Right now it's only shrink wrap, but I have some material being delivered that will protect all 4 sides and the bottom of it, so I can slide it in. Essentially, it's a metal case that will surround the sides here, so that'll prevent damage to it. But it's an 88 volt, 40 amp hour. I'll be pushing this to 200 amp continuous. This is a 24S 8P battery. I have it on QS8 discharge, and I have XT90 on the charge. This is brand new. Cells are also brand new as well too. I have a very similar spec battery in my Rawrr Pro spec, and it delivers for what I need to do. I didn't want to go much higher because the the motor's not going to be able to take any higher anyway. I have moly cells as well too that I was thinking about putting on there, but I decided 200 amps is more than the motor can take anyway, so I'm not going to waste my moly cells on this motor, at least not until I upgrade it. You can see here that I have the tips stripped already. I'm ready to solder on the connectors for the 3-show controller. What else did I do here? Yeah, so this is what I'm doing. I'm planning on upgrading the front forks to a 45-48 dual adjustable setup. I'm not too happy with these forks here. These forks are quite firm. I'm unable to get these softer than I like, and Yeah, not too happy with the front forks nor the rear suspension. So I'm not upgrading them just yet. I want to upgrade the powertrain, and then I'll decide whether or not I want to upgrade the suspension later on. I generally, when I ride standing up. So I use a lot of my legs for shock absorption. So maybe I don't need to upgrade the rear one, but my forearms get very sore because I end up leaning on the front, and I'm holding onto the handles tightly. What else do I have here? Oh, I added a tail light. The tail light. This has turn, brake, running, and it might even have reverse. Let's take a look at the ends here. No, it doesn't. No, sorry, it doesn't even have turn. No, I think this is just tail and brake, which is all I need really. I ride at night, so I need the guys riding behind me to be able to see me. So I always add a tail light on any of the ones that I'm running here. I mean, any of the builds that I'm doing. So the way I'm routing this, I have the wire going into a hole here, coming out over here, so it avoids the seat. I believe the seat sits on here, it slides into here, and it also slides into here. So I have it routed this way here, and I think this clears. I tried to see it already, and it cleared. What I haven't figured out yet is how it's going to route. Will it route this way when the battery's in? Will it route above? Who knows? I'll figure that out later. Yeah, I think this covers everything. So this will end up as like a 16 kilowatt, 24 kilowatt build. Yeah, I'm going to try to push this motor until it explodes, and then I'll upgrade it to something better. Suspension, not too concerned about that. One of the main things this entire project actually kicked off because of the shitty braking. I was not happy with the stock brakes. I began upgrading I wanted to upgrade to the pit bike brakes, but and then I realized, okay, that the stock disc that they run is thinner, and I wanted a thicker disc, but they didn't have any available, so I ended up upgrading the entire rear wheel, and then I ended up talking myself into upgrading the entire thing anyway, because the stock powertrain is lackluster. All of my builds are, they're like at least 15 kilowatt builds. Like this Razor Pro Spec is a 16 kilowatt build too. It has an 80 volt 200 amp discharge battery in it. Yeah, so this guy is a ripper. I love wiring this in the single tracks. It's very maneuverable. You can flip this thing around. It wheelies on demand even at 45, 50 miles an hour. This thing will top out at around about 80 miles an hour. The motor gets pretty hot. I don't generally try to top it out, but it has plenty of power. Yeah, and as you can see, I have a lot of toys here. I've had Suron before. I've had a B2 before. I have this guy. I'm looking at getting an Altis soon. And yeah, hopefully there's gonna be more videos to come. I'll try to give you guys an update on the Rawrr page, at least when I get most of this stuff on, and maybe when I get it running. I'm pretty sure this is one of the more extensive upgrades. I'm sure there are people out there who's upgraded this before, but I haven't seen anything on the Rawrr pages just yet. But they're all the same. You do one of them, you can do any of the other ones. All have the same type of powertrain. Has the controller, motor, battery. Those are the main things. Once you get acquainted with how the wiring works and how these things work in conjunction with each other, you can pretty much upgrade any other electric ride. All right, cool.